right, guys, Gaius Julius Caesar's Commentaries on the Gallic War. Book 3, Part 5, or Commentary 5. When they had now been fighting for more than 6 hours, without cessation, and not only strength, but even weapons were failing our men, and the enemy were pressing on more rigorously, and had begun to demolish the rampart and to fill up the trench, while our men were becoming exhausted, and the matter was now brought to the last extremity. P. Sextius Baculus, a centurion of the first rank, whom we have related to have been disabled by severe wounds in the engagement with the Nervi, and also C. Volusenus, a tribune of the soldiers, a man of great skill and valor, hastened to Galba. And assure him that they hastened to Galba and assure him that the only hope of safety lay in making a sally and trying the last resource. Whereupon, assembling the centurions, he quickly gives orders to the soldiers to discontinue the fight a short time. Yeah. Whereupon, assembling the centurions, he quickly gives orders to the soldiers to discontinue the fight a short time, and only collect the weapons flung at them, and recruit themselves after their fatigue, and afterwards, upon the signal being given, sally forth from the camp and place in their valor all their hope of safety. So they're making a sally, I guess like a run for it, maybe? I don't know. The Romans sally. The Romans make sally. I guess they make a run for it. I guess I gotta look on my phone what that means. What does it mean to sally? All right, what is it? We'll see. We'll check it out, guys. So the Romans are outnumbered right now. Remember, Caesar's the one that told them to do this, so of course they were going to be outnumbered, right? They're trying to take over this area. Remember, this is a time of war without any sort of, you know, um, air relief. Any sort of. They had no airplanes back then, right? So you can't really have a few men going there. They had a few men going there and kind of secure this area so the Romans could go and freely do business and their merchants will be safe. And now they're being outnumbered. The only hope was some men of Gaul, some cohorts, but they seem to have abandoned that area in fear of being outnumbered, in which they are. A sudden charge out of a besieged place against the enemy. A sortie, so charge, sortie, a foray, a sortie, an attack made by troops coming out from a position of defense. So sortie, how do you say that? Sortie?
Sortie.
Sortie. A foray, a sudden attack or incursion into enemy territory, especially to obtain something, or a raid. But this is a sally, a sudden charge out of a besieged place. So to be besieged, you're surrounded by armed forces aiming to capture it or force surrender. Be surrounded with armed forces. So to make a sally, a sudden charge out of a besieged place against the enemy. Obviously, they're going to attack, but maybe they're really trying to get away. So let's read it. And assure him that the only hope of safety lay in making a sally and trying the last resource. Whereupon, assembling the centurions, he quickly gives orders to the soldiers to discontinue the fight a short time and only collect the weapons flung at them and recruit themselves after their fatigue, and afterwards, upon the signal being given, sally forth from the camp and place in their valor all their hope of safety. Interesting, huh? They're making a sally right here. So it was kind of fucked up on Caesar's part. Sort of put them in a predicament, you know, but again, I don't know. And who was this guy again? His name was Galba, remember? Servius Galba. Servius Galba. Anyway, y'all, peace.